We are live. We are live. Welcome to College Football's Peek Around the Corner with your host, Greg Pflugar. We cover everything in college football because we love everything in college football. So if you do us well, please subscribe to our channel. Smash the like button if you like our content. Share the video with your family and friends if you want to support this college football's rebel outpost with a donation to help us keep the lights on and grow the channel. Just hit that $sign where you make your comment, and I'll get to your super chat as quick as I possibly can. Everybody is welcome into the studio that sits on the corner, the very corner of Keith Jackson Parkway and Kurt Gowdy Avenue. Do not be afraid. Do not be afraid to become a legend with your comments and with your phone calls. The National, not the National. The Minnesota, not the Minnesota. The fat guy from Minnesota's nightmare has arrived. I, here at Peek Around the Corner, early last year, made a report, not a prediction. Predictions you get wrong. Predictions, I am the re-elected mayor of Louisville City. I'm 92-93 this year against the spread. It's my best year of 4 years. But still, I am the mayor of Louisville City. I'm not going to punish myself over getting a prediction incorrect. But I got a report incorrect. This is college football's peek around the corner. You deserve the most accurate information as possible. We are transparent as we can possibly be. And I was wrong. I made a report early last year that it was a fait accompli. It was a done deal. Regardless of actually how the numbers were going to work out, 4-4-2-2-1-3 or whatever, 18-team playoff, 20, whatever it was, I said it was a fait accompli that the Big Ten would get 4 AQs and the SEC would get 4 AQs. This was not guesswork. This was not a prediction. This was not speculation. This was myself reporting to you all that it was going to happen. You all know the reasons I made the report. I was told a couple of different times by a couple of different sources that the SEC and the Big Ten were in agreement in the advisory group meetings. And they were, but it was not a fait accompli. 13 of the 16 SEC athletic directors agreed with Tony Petitti's multiple AQ model. But they went to Destin, Florida. The coaches in the SEC said, this ain't going to work for us, brother. And it all went pear-shaped. And there were other things in that advisory group, some potential agreements, other agreements. It all unraveled. It all unraveled. I should not have reported that it was a fait accompli. I should not have reported it's a done deal. But I did. And I was so sure of myself that I said to you all, if the SEC and the Big Ten don't get 4 AQs in this next model, I will eat the abomination that you all call a cheeseburger. So I got a cheeseburger in front of me. It's a big old cheeseburger. Now, I also selected to have raw onions, pickles, and mustard added to that cheeseburger. Items that I would normally add on to a really good hamburger. Something that a lot of you don't even know what it tastes like anymore because of the cheesification of America. I gotta tell you something. The little general is a little worried. But it's all going to be over after this live show. Either way, you all are leading me to my execution. But I think the execution might be a little bit less painful than the actual waiting around, talking about it every day. I'm sitting on death row. Guilty. I'm guilty of my crime. No question about that. But I'm going to get it over with during this live show. Today we're going to be making our predictions. You all are going to vote on the national championship game. I'm going to make my selection. The PATC Einsteins, you all are 92-93 against the spread. The fat guy from Minnesota's record is 92-93. So, if you all and if we get the championship game right, we finish 500. Which is still losing, by the way. Which is still losing, but maybe we can put maybe we can come out of this feeling a little bit better. So we are going to talk about the football game. I got a couple of other news items that I want to get to. And then we'll get to, I'm going to eat the cheeseburger before we open up the lines, the phone lines. Because I don't think I'm going to be able to eat the cheeseburger. When I eat the cheeseburger, I just have to eat the cheese. I'm not going to be able to multitask because while eating the cheeseburger, because then I won't end up eating the cheeseburger. And we got to get it. I told the little general, I said, today is the day. I cannot go another day. January 23rd is the deadline, right? That ESPN has with the CFP management group. They're not going to do a college football playoff format for 2026 that settles on the Big Ten 4, SEC 4. They're not doing the 4-4-4-4-2-6. They're just not doing it. The question is, are they going to settle on 16 with the idea, with the commitment that we're going to go to 24 3 years from now? Or are we going to stay at 12? But we're not going to do the 4-4 SEC and Big Ten. So I'm going to pay. It's punishment time. And again, thank you all for joining us. Cheeseburger in one hand while the other is bleeding, clutching those pearls. 2-2-2-2-2-2-2-6 was always the best. Well, that ain't going to happen. None of this is good. Show us the wrapper, please, just to make sure. Okay. All right. I will. We've got a super chat. I'm going to show you the burger. So, Preston from Greensboro, I enjoy knowing you and our friendship, kind sir. Thank you for those kind words, Preston from Greensboro. I enjoyed knowing you, and I enjoyed knowing you as well. All of us has got an end date, right? All of us has had a start date and an end date. And my end date is fast approaching. I do want to give out prayers to the Almighty. Hey, everybody, pray for me. I'm going to have eye surgery today. Almighty, I'm praying for you. Our Creator has you in mind. He knows your name. He knows every hair on your head. Just like He knows of every sparrow that comes out of the sky. So, Almighty, I am praying for you. I will get the little general. We will pray for you after this live show. All right? You stay up. You keep your chin up. I know it's tough times. Tough times everywhere. Thank you, Almighty, for letting us know. Thank you for opening up and letting us know about your situation. My prayers are for you. My prayers are also for the people in Iran. It looks like action is going to be imminent. So my prayers to those who've been gunned down by that ruthless, gruesome cult group that's running the beautiful people of Persia. So we're going to have people in harm's way. Men and women, our bravest, our best, are going to be in harm's way. But it sounds like the actions are imminent. In Khomeini, deep in a bunker, I'm going to try to keep this clean. I'm not going to say anything at all because I don't think I can keep it clean. The monster is going down. Finally. So welcome on in. College football peek around the corner. John Grove is in the house. Jared Jones is here. Antoine Johnson. The Eva Badger. Yes, it's going to happen. The Eva Badger. Last night, Wisconsin beats Minnesota in basketball on a buzzer shot. And now today I'm going to eat a cheeseburger, a double cheeseburger from Wisconsin's own Culver's. So I don't know, guys. I don't know how bad, I don't know how much worse it could be. The cheeseburger nightmare. Eating a cheeseburger from Culver's. Wisconsin cheese. It can't get any worse than this. It cannot get any worse than this. John Grove is calling it now. Kansas State will finish in the top 5 in the Big 12 next year. Kayla Ramirez is in the house. Humble Bumble Duck is here. Deep Waters is in the house. Go Black 45. Janus, Christopher Hooter, go Tigers. Go Tigers now have Longstreet as their backup quarterback. Sam Levitt and then Longstreet. LSU got their 2 quarterbacks for this year and Longstreet for 2027. Jose is in the house. Yes, it's happening. Let's get it over with. Cheese is on the way. Lee is in the house. Let's just get it over with. Go White Castle. Juicy Lucy or bust. God. Kenneth Stromness is here. Thanks for coming on in. Marcus Williams is here. Rod is in the house. Kerwin is here. Old Dad. I'll take a look at it. Kayla Ramirez. I will take a look at it. I think I saw. Yes, I saw it. I don't think it means much, Caleb. I'll put it up on the board here. Big Ten Conference. Miami on our mind. Top-seeded Indiana takes on Miami for the College Football Playoff National Championship. Which, by the way, we're going to talk about next, right now. We're going to be making our predictions right now. You guys are going to go first. Y'all are going to go first. So buckle up. Here we go. Last game of the year. 92 and 93. Both of us. Miami, Indiana. Here we go. Does Indiana cover the minus 8.5 point spread versus Miami? If you vote yes, you're taking the Hoosiers and you're willing to give 8.5 points. If you vote no, well, that means you want the Hurricanes and receive 8.5 points. The voting begins now. The last game of the season. 5 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 57% says yes. Indiana will cover. Indiana will cover. According to the PATC Einsteins. Now, when we put up that poll with 8.5 points, during the second half of Indiana and Oregon, 88% of you said Indiana's going to cover an 8.5 point spread, because that's the spread I chose. And that's the spread that is being used by FanDuel. So it went from 88 to 56, 57, 58%, but you still are choosing Indiana. Now, these are my thoughts on the game. And we'll talk about more going leading up to the football game. And we're going to be doing a watch party of that championship game. My thoughts are this. I think Indiana is going to cover. I do think Indiana is going to cover. I'm taking Indiana along with the PATC Einsteins. But I have been thinking about this game. And all the great, this Miami Hurricane team is fantastic. I think that Indiana is going to cover, not because they blow Miami out, not because they have a 17-point lead going into the fourth quarter. I think Miami's going to cover because Miami is going to have to take one gamble too many deep in the fourth quarter, and Indiana is going to make them pay. And that is how Indiana is going to cover. We often talk about the backdoor cover when we're talking about the team that is the underdog in the game. I think this is going to be a backdoor cover for the favorite. I think Indiana is going to be ahead by 3, by 4. It's going to be a tight football game. Miami's going to sack Fernando Mendoza. Miami's going to do a lot of things out there. Carson Beck is going to have some good moments. I think Miami's running game is not going to be as effective as it has been against A&M, Buckeyes sort of, and of course their last football game. I think their running game is going to be stopped. But still, I think Miami is going to scratch and claw, and it's going to be a very close game, middle of the fourth quarter. But I think Mario Cristobal is going to have to gamble, and I don't think it's going to be like a bad coaching move. I just think Miami's going to have to try to figure something out, and Indiana's going to sting them at the end. And then Indiana's going to have a 10, 12-point victory, and Indiana is going to be the national champions. That is my prediction. So we both got Indiana. I happen to think it's going to be a much closer game, a real close game. But Indiana is going to make Miami pay. Like, they're going to make them pay in the fourth quarter. Somewhere along in the fourth quarter, Miami's going to do something. They're going to try to do some trickeration, something, and it ain't going to work against Indiana. Indiana wins. So, that is my prediction. You put down your prediction. And we've got some super chats here. Evil Badger. The Evil Badger. You'll love it, Evil Badger. You'll love it. $5 holla. I appreciate it. I appreciate the super chat, Evil Badger. Now, you're wrong. I'm not going to love it. I'm not going to love it. But then again, this is the day that you've been waiting for, Evil Badger. So congratulations. Congratulations. Rock and Rant, thank you for becoming an early peak member for 24 months. That is 2 years, according to my Minnesota math. You're officially knighted Cloak and Dagger. Thank you, Rock and Rant. According to my Minnesota math, that is 2 years. Please keep disrespecting Miami, everyone. I absolutely love it. Maybe I should cancel my flight to Miami since we're going to lose, apparently. I just made a prediction. I think it's going to be a close game. I did not disrespect Miami. So, but I do predict Indiana to win the football game. Got to pick one of the two teams. Everybody at Indiana is feeling disrespected. Almost everyone in Miami is feeling disrespected. Bill G, thank you so much for the 5 gifted memberships. FSU, Texas Kid, The Average Joe, Lawrence, Kansas Football Rules, and Mountaineer in New Jersey. All gifted a membership by the incredible, edible Bill G. Thank you so much, Bill G. I appreciate it. For the 5 names that I just announced, when you get an opportunity, please say thank you to Bill G in the chat room for his incredible generosity. All of you are knighted, cloak, and dagger. Welcome to the family. Welcome to becoming members of the program. It means you can go to our library of episodes and watch all the episodes, including the episodes early, Pete, Cloak, and Dagger for members only. Information that we put out on these episodes before we go live. We released an episode last week, episode 62. Go check it out. Thank you, Bill G. Bill G, thank you so very much for your unbelievable kindness. Thank you, Bill G. Appreciate it. Can't thank you enough. And the little general talks about Bill G. Bill G, because of all the generosity you've given us. So thank you so very much. When I do cross over St. Croix River, I say some anti-Badger Packer stuff that I really can't say during this live show. But when I'm driving over the bridge to Wisconsin, and I also do it when we go to Wabasha, which is in Minnesota, on the Mississippi River. When we go to Wabasha every year, the little general and I, we go to the national center of the Bald Eagles. The national center is in Wabasha, Minnesota, a little town on the river. That's where the most bald eagles are everywhere except for Alaska. And the reason that is because that's the spot of the Mississippi River that doesn't freeze over. And the ice ages created these high elevation mountains and hilltops and big trees. It's the perfect spot for bald eagles. And there's a center there, a national center where you can go in and you can, they take care of injured bald eagles. They have like 5 ambassadors, 5 bald eagles that you can go in and watch them eat, and they sit there because they can't be out in the open and out in the wild because they would not survive. Either they've had mercury poisoning, or they've had an eye taken out, or they've broken a wing, whatever it is. So a beautiful place. If you love bald eagles, go to Wabasha, Minnesota. It's the national center, the federal government building there on the Mississippi. When we go to Wabasha, it's a beautiful drive. Absolutely beautiful drive. Part of that drive is we go into Wisconsin. And so when we go in Wisconsin, I might have a few choice words every time we go to Wabasha. I will say this about Wisconsin. It's beautiful country. It is. Wisconsin is different than Minnesota. The land is different. I know that sounds ridiculous, but Minnesota is a state of 4 different, what do they call that? Geological areas in Minnesota. It's the most, besides California, it's the most diverse geological state in the country. There's 4 separate ones. A lot of that is caused by the Ice Age, right? All the lakes, Northern Minnesota is a valley. It's one of the reasons why it's so damn cold with all the lakes. But Wisconsin is hilly. Wisconsin is beautiful country. I have to give credit to my neighbors to the east. All right. Grumpy old, and if you go to the hotel room in Wabasha, they have like the one hotel they have in Wabasha. I can't remember the name of it right now, but they do have grumpy old men suites that you can get, and we've stayed in a few of them. All right, let's get to it. We made our predictions. We both took Indiana. Couple of news items before we get to your phone calls and before I get to this cheeseburger. The FBS head coaches voted unanimously, this was yesterday, to expand the eligibility for redshirt years from 4 games to 9. It's just a recommendation that will be put forth to the Division I committees. Andy Staples, the big discussion today was not about the calendar, but about a 4-game redshirt rule. Essentially, the 4-game rule incentivizes players to shut it down to get an extra year of pay. 5 to play 5 seems to be the preference. I'm at the point, and I'm exhausted by all this stuff. I'm at the point to say 5 years to play 5 years, and no more players shutting down their season. And God, it's just ridiculous. I love college football, but some of this is just, it makes it really hard to cover the sport. So do the 5 years of eligibility. But as Charlie Baker said, there's a bunch of players suing. Want 6 years, want 7 years, want 8 years. That's what Charlie Baker's talking about. It's just out of hand. College football is the ambulance, and the lawyers are the ambulance chasers. All right. And Kyle Rowland, this was this morning. There isn't much appetite for a G6 playoff. Instead, much of the focus is on increasing value for the teams and fans, increasing revenue from the Bulls. People are talking about how maybe the group of 6 conferences want to create their own playoff. And as we have reported here for years, they don't want it because they're not going to make, they're only going to make the fraction of the money that they do being a part of the entire FBS expanded college football playoffs. Why would you take a massive pay cut if you are a G6? It doesn't. So again, if you want to kick the G6 out of the playoffs, you're going to have to create a different division. You're going to have to break away. You're going to have to say, eventually, after this contract, after these playoffs are over, this current contract that everybody has signed into 2030, you're going to have to split them away. Because you can't do that now. They're not going to leave. I don't want them to leave. A lot of you do. So there it is. Again, let the G6 have their own playoffs. When you say that, what do you mean, Go Black 45? What do you mean? It's like you can't do it now. You say once the P3 pulls away, they have no choice. All right? All right, let's get this over with. Culver's. God. cheese, double, pickle, onion, mustard. And before I go into this burger, my question is why? 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 Why this cheese? Look at this beautiful burger that Culver's makes. Look at that beautiful meat. And you want to slap on basically a wet tablecloth with salt, because that's what the problem with this is bad. This is so bad. I blame you, Southeastern Conference coaches, the Southeastern Conference head football coaches. You are the reason why it all flipped. You are the reason why my report went up in smoke. You are the reason, Southeastern Conference head football coaches, that I got to eat this abomination. I haven't had cheese. God, it's like a slimy snake in there. It's a little worse than I thought. It's a little worse than I remember. You can't. You guys know that you can't taste the hamburger, right? You can't taste the hamburger. Now, I can taste the pickle. I can taste the pickle. The pickle. I did not taste onion, which is a bad thing. I wanted to taste the onion. I tasted the pickle, and I didn't even, I guess I tasted the mustard, but I tasted that cheese. I can't believe you guys eat this. Did you guys see the Applebee's OMG cheeseburger? Where they've got the burger cut in half and they place it on a plate and the plate has cheese on it. If that doesn't signify to you that you have all been corrupted, all of you, that's disgusting. But they're up the, oh my God, they're advertising it all over the place. It's all over they know you're coming for the cheese. They've got you addicted. Break away. Break away. That was one bite. I'm gonna eat this in the least bites as possible. And a heart attack, sure, why not? I mean, I am the leading candidate. I'm a leading candidate for a heart attack. Fat guy from Minnesota. I watch Golden Gopher football, and I lose. So I'm going to go ahead and get it all done today, right now. Um, I got the onion on that, which helped. Why don't you guys just take slices of cheese, cheddar cheese, and melt it, and then just grab it and eat it? Because that's all that this is. Except for that's all. There's a bunch of burger in this, but I can't taste the meat. That was 2 bites. I'm going to sneeze. Yeah, oh my God. Hold on. It's psychological. I can't stand the thought of a wet thing, a cheese on a burger. It's a psychological, emotional bridge I can't get over. I mean, look at that. It's just so disgusting. Look at that. Look what you're doing out there. That's an abomination. I have made a decision that I'm going to have to let my wife know. We are banning all trips to Wisconsin for the next 2 years. I should have gotten extra pickles. I should have loaded up with pickles, but that would be cheating. God forbid I cheat. God, they put some. You know what? They put so much cheese on this. So not only are they putting cheese on everything, are they putting more cheese than they've ever had before? Are they taking away the meat and putting more cheese on it? I don't want to. Oh God, I got. It's just, it's the texture. I can taste it. Give me 1 more minute. There has been, okay, we're going to talk some football here. Over the last year, there has been people in the chat room Jeff Olson, Terry Nord, and Dan Leonard, who have told you all that, I don't know, for the last decade, I've been yelling at my friends about the cheesification of America on text messages. So it's not just you guys that have to hear the brunt of my conspiracy rambling on about a conspiracy. So I do appreciate you all listening to me ramble on. I know I sound like a nut job, but I do think there's a psychological component to this. Meat and cheese should not be together. Just like the Badgers and the Gophers should not be together. All right? All right. Okay. I ordered myself a cheeseburger and a salad, cashew, what do they call it? Chicken cashew salad. Don't cook a calf in its mother's milk. Yes. Laura Weiss, Lubbock, they eat cheeseburgers down in Lubbock. Joey Chestnut would have eaten 15 by now. Well, that was a double cheeseburger, and I ate it in 4 bites because I could not put it in my mouth. I mean, I could not, there was no way I was going to be able to do that in 8 bites, 7, whatever the normal bite. No way was I going to be able to do a double cheeseburger and not try to put as much in my mouth as possible. I could not physically put the burger in my mouth more than 4 times. It's psychological, guys. It's psychological. Especially when I know the great conspiracies out there and you are all falling for it. Phone lines are now open. Phone lines are now open. It's over. I did it, and it was punishment, well-deserved punishment. It was severe. It was severe. Definitely severe punishment. But again, I do apologize for giving you an incorrect report. We thought it was a fait accompli. I confidently reported it. I was wrong. I was wrong. I was wrong. All right? My apologies. The floor is yours. The phone lines are open. 763-260-1333.
Call from
Christopher Hooter.
Christopher Hooter. The LSU Tigers are sitting there with Sam Levitt in Longstreet. Holy smokes. Go ahead, sir. The floor is yours.
And the word is they're celebrating with a cheeseburger.
Oh, God. Well, that's LSU. No, look. Louisiana. Come on. Louisiana has to be the least cheeseburger state in the country. Come on. Louisiana is too smart for that. You've got too many good food down there, I should say. You've got all that New Orleans. You got all that French, although they use cheese like crazy. But all those sauces and everything. There's no way you guys go eat cheeseburgers like those morons in the state of Wisconsin. The floor is yours.
Well, I tell you, here's to the palate, right? Yes.
Some of our palates are educated. Some of our palates are uneducated. I will let you Einsteins figure out which palate is educated and not. I'm sorry to interrupt you again, Christopher. Go ahead, sir.
I've been told I do not have a discerning palate before. So
right.
Anyway, there you go. Yeah. So it's kind of amazing we're 500 against the spread, right? I mean, more or less, right?
92 and 93. Yeah.
Right, and we're all gonna be 500 together, or we're all gonna be 2 under 500, right? So,
Yeah.
I mean, it goes to show you how hard it is to pick against the spread.
Or it shows you that we are losers, Christopher. You know, this is my 4th year doing this, and this is my best year. In other words, if I would just use a quarter, I'd be more successful. So I am very grateful that you're trying to get me off the hook, that you're trying to get the PATC Einsteins off the hook, but we are losers. We are morons, and I am the mayor. That's just how it is. It's just how it is. Go ahead, sir.
Well, I didn't do too good either, right? I mean, I play a little bit, not big money, right? But I'll put $5 here, $10 there on these online things, and I mean, and I'm down, right? So I don't even know why they need the 10% anymore. if everybody's losing, that's just piling on.
That's funny.
Yeah,
that's good. Hey, how many games? So this will be our 186th game with 10% juice. How many games how many games did we need to be correct to have won $1 more than we lost, counting the juice?
Well, assuming you bet the same amount. Now maybe you didn't, but assuming you bet the same amount, you gotta win. You gotta win 10% more games, right?
I guess, but somebody compute that. Some of you Einsteins, make the math work. Tell me how many games that we needed to win out of 186 if we would have bet $10 a game. Just give me just give me the number. But it ain't 92 and 93. We know that. Go ahead.
Now, I've noticed on some of these online betting sites, it's not always exactly 10%, right? Sometimes they hold the spread and kind of tweak that 10 one way or the other. Maybe it's 11 or 12 or 8 or 9, right?
Yeah.
So it's not, so they're even kind of dealing with that too. Some of these sites you can get the, I want the line -2 at the end of the half, right? I mean, it's crazy, right? Anyway, that's gambling. I do think Indiana's going to win. I think they're going to cover. I think it's going to look like the Oregon-Alabama games. I think they're just going to run away with it. It'll be a big yawner. I hope not.
You think it's going to be a blowout, huh?
Yeah. I think they're that good. I think they are the most complete team since 2020 Alabama or 2019 LSU.
Yeah.
They look, and boy, he's got a gun on him, man. He puts that ball. You can't defend it.
Well, he was particularly great against Oregon. Those throws.
Yes, he was.
Those throws were ridiculous. I mean, the timing, the tight spiral, the placement. It was just it was like a video game. But yeah, I agree.
And you're looking at the poor defender, and you're like, well, what can he do?
Yeah.
He plays it perfect, and he gets beat, right? So, I don't know. So, the 5-year thing. All right, so we're just... So, in any given season, you can play 4 games, and you can tap out for whatever reason and save that year of eligibility.
5 to play 5.
Crazy.
You don't get a 6-year. You don't get a 6-year. Now, that's not official yet. And I'm just saying that it looks like that's where we're heading, though.
Uh, well, yep, and then of course, so there's that. There's the NIL, which is still out of control, and they still haven't wrapped that up legislatively or an executive order. They're really behind the eight ball on some stuff. They need to codify some of this stuff, and we're gonna go back to court.
Yeah, we're going back to court no matter what. You know, it's just the way it is.
So I hadn't called in a while. The North Carolina, your little nugget there.
Yeah.
Now, I kind of hope they can hold the band together in a reimagined ACC, just because I don't know. Maybe I'm just a traditionalist, right?
Well, I think there's a lot of people who would like to do that. A lot of people at North Carolina would love that to be the solution. It would be awfully complicated. I don't know.
But my thought is that's what they have to say to the political world. See, we tried, we did the math, not going to work. So I suspect, that's just kind of show and tell, and they'll go in the SEC. So you're saying they'll announce before June of next year for 2027? Is that what you're saying?
I believe that North Carolina is going to make a decision about their future on or before June 1st, 2027. Yep.
The 28 season.
Yep. Something will be different for July of 2028. The start of the new athletic calendar year. July 1st, 2028.
Well, they're not going alone, right? Someone's got to go with them, or a whole bunch of them.
Or the ACC is somehow reimagined. There's a plan in place. Yep. But they're not going to go alone. That's correct. I don't think so. I do know that the Southeastern Conference wants North Carolina. That's not a secret. Everybody knows that. And it's going to be a very difficult. North Carolina is going to be very difficult for them to say no to the Southeastern Conference. Nobody else has ever said no. So it's tough. It's a but if here North Carolina, the old saying, you got to piss or get off the pot, and I think they're going to piss either way.
Yeah.
On or before June 1st, 2027.
So you're going back to your big scoop, little scoop theory? Where's Virginia?
Well, I don't even want to talk about that right now because I want to see how the next 9 days play out for the college football playoff format. I want to see if Sankey and Petiti compromise with each other. And then we'll talk about the little scoop, big scoop again.
Well, I think they're going to 16. I think the verdict's in that the bye is not helping. So, if you have a bye, you tend to lose. I mean, go figure, right? So
yeah, is it the bye or is it the length of the bye? In other words, if you had a 2014 playoff, you're starting those playoffs really quick, and your teams that have a bye are only going to be off 14 days instead of 25 days. I think that's going to make a big difference.
Well, I agree. I mean, just having a Saturday off is nice, right? But if you're going over beyond 2 weeks, I agree. Of course, there's the issue with finals and all that, or we don't even pretend to be students anymore. I'm not sure, right? So, Anyway, I hadn't called in a while. I wanted to call in and say hi.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it, Mr. Hooter.
During the holidays, you aren't on every day. I got to get my PATC fixed.
There's a lot of things that happened. I injured my foot on December 22nd. We went on a vacation on December 26th. But yeah, but we are back. We are absolutely back. Thank you, Hooter. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. I'll talk to you. Okay, enjoyed it.
Beautiful call by Mr. Hooter, and LSU Tigers RB1 is coming back. I think I saw that. Not a sports breaking news, but Verizon, T-Mobile, AT&T, U.S. Cellular, and Xfinity are all facing outage across the U.S. So my phone is Verizon, my internet is Xfinity. So if I go out here, just letting you know, it isn't me. It's not me. But so far, I seem to be okay. We've got a super chat from no other than Mr. Hooja. Ricky Tungate, $20 holla. Just got here. I'll go back to the start. Thanks, Greg. Well, I'll tell you what happened, Ricky Tungate. An old curmudgeon named Greg Pflugar, the mayor of Louisville City, had to eat a cheeseburger live. So I ate the cheeseburger live in 4 bites. It was disgusting. I embarrassed myself in front of all ya. So really there's not much to watch, Ricky. You don't have to go back and watch it. You don't have to go back and watch where I embarrass myself in front of you all. You don't have to do that, Ricky. Just start watching it from here on out. And congratulations, Mr. Hoosier. Championship game. We also made our picks. The PATC Einsteins. The PATC Einsteins were sitting at 92 and 93 against the spread. You all picked Indiana to cover 57% of the voters. The fat guy from Minnesota, Greg the Cooler. I took Indiana to cover the spread, 8.5 points. Ricky Tungate, I do believe it's going to be a close game. I do believe in the middle of the fourth quarter, it's going to be a very close, tight football game. Miami's going to bring a lot of juices, a lot of problems to the Hoosiers, but that eventually Miami's going to try to do some trickeration. They're going to have to gamble. They're going to feel that they're going to have to gamble a little bit of fake punt, something that, and it's not going to work. And it's not going to work. And Indiana is going to turn that over to points. And Indiana is going to cover against the Miami Hurricanes. I do think it's going to be a very competitive football game. But the Indiana Hoosiers become the national champions. And I got to say, it ain't going to be this.
I know you
it ain't going to be this on Monday night.
Tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. Guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away. As you fade away.
Yeah, I'm about to fade away, cause every time I wake up I feel like it's Monday. Something's going wrong with all the chemicals up in my brain. All of a sudden I don't look at
ain't gonna be great,
the
the cooler.
way. Gotta build up of my
Late
thoughts
night.
sitting in an ashtray.
Monday
I'm
night.
sorry that I'm so
Championship
inconvenient,
game.
okay. Just
It's
let
not
me
going to be this. It's going to be this. We're going to end this season as Greg the Gold. Let's go. Indiana. Indiana 34. Miami 23. Kirk Signetti. Google me, baby. Google me. Fernando Mendoza. Heisman. D'Angelo Pons. Have you guys ever known me to be wrong? Ever about a big time football game? All right, enough of that. Enough of that. I'm going to be playing that music at the end of the championship game. I'm not going to be playing that fade away, the cooler music. Ricky Tungate, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I don't think I'm allergic physically. I am allergic to it psychologically. The palate is talking to the brain. And my brain synapses actually work. Unlike all of you with your cheesification conspiracy has blinded you to the great taste of a hamburger if it's done correctly. But you don't want to do it correctly. You don't want to do the hard work. You want to slap a salty, wet, gross, slimy cheese on the top of that beautiful beef that a beautiful cow gave to you. You don't want to do the hard work. You want to do the easy work. And that is what's going on in America. All right, guys, phone lines are open. I'm telling you, I won't yell at you guys again, I promise. On today's live show, I promise I'm not going to lie to you again. I've gotten some, hold on here. Hold on, everybody. Give me a minute. Give me a minute. I don't know if I can actually go with that. I do not know. I got to be careful when people send me stuff, especially during a live show. Breaking news. Deontay Moore, Oregon quarterback Deontay Moore is set to announce at 2:30 Eastern Time, which is in 6 minutes, whether he is turning pro or returning to school. Hasn't informed anyone of his decision yet. Dante Moore of Oregon going to be making his announcement in 6 minutes. Wow. So, I don't know, what do you guys think that means? Because he hasn't told anybody, right? He hasn't told anybody. Is that an indication of anything? And we've also got breaking news. Yesterday, Charlie Baker expected the D1 cabinet on Wednesday today to vote on permitting commercial jersey patches. However, breaking news just 12 minutes ago, Ross Dellinger, Yahoo Sports, despite Charlie Baker's optimism for a vote today on jersey patches, any vote has been delayed. The D1 cabinet meeting today included prolonged discussions of details around the patches. There is still support to pass the legislation. And there was some report late last night that some of the biggest brand schools are ready to make a deal on their jersey patch. And some of the biggest brand schools could be earning up to $10 million a year on jersey patch revenue. Schools are debating on whether they should have jersey patches, different ads when it comes to the different sports. Like their baseball will have a different jersey patch than their football team. Or is it worthwhile to have the same ad, the same national advertiser have, what is going to bring in more revenue for the school? And then, of course, the schools have already been proactive in trying to find the correct graphic design for their gymnastics, for their baseball, for the basketball, for the football. You don't want it too big. You don't want it too small. You got to figure out where to put the jersey patch. So early this summer, or I should say late this spring, we're going to be covering a lot of these jersey patches. We're going to be seeing them released and how much money the school is going to get, but what advertiser is going to be on what school, and so we're going to be following all that. Minnesota needs a PATC patch. Well, my budget will not allow me to try to get my head, this big old thing right here on the left corner. I don't think they're going to want that on their jersey, because I am the mayor of Loserville City. Illini Ted, Greg, what teams are winning the portal for you so far? Texas. LSU. Indiana. Texas Tech. I don't know about Oregon. Oregon one is really look, we're gonna have Dante Moore's announcement here, right? Any minute, Dante Moore. Now, if Dante Moore elects to go to the NFL, is is Dylan Raiola the guy? Is Dylan Raiola the guy to be able to lead Oregon to a Big Ten championship just like they did 2 years ago and get them into the semifinals, get them into the finals, get them to win it all? I mean, is Dylan Raiola the guy? And then, you know, somebody did show me the 247 Oregon thread on acquiring Coy Pirich. And I saw what the writers said, and I saw all the comments, and Oregon is very excited of Coy Pirich. And I can't really blame them because Coy Pirich is an exciting football player, an incredible athlete. There was no mention. Now, Oregon, I got to tell you, you want the player of 2 years ago. You don't want the guy from last year. So hopefully Oregon can get him straightened out. Coy Pirich led all secondary players in the Big Ten in missed tackles. He was number 2 overall in the Big Ten in missed tackles. So you don't want that guy from last year. So Dylan Raiola, greatness, but yet issues. Coy Pirich, greatness, but yet issues. So I don't know, Oregon, how that all works out, that's going to be fascinating to watch. Absolutely fascinating to watch. El Woody, Oklahoma State, I'm sorry. My bad. Shame on me. Oklahoma State is one. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Oklahoma State. Absolutely. I should have had them on the tip of my tongue. San Jose, Notre Dame. Okay, let me see here. I want to thank Ricky Tungate, Bill G, Rock and Rant, Eva Badger, Preston from Greensboro, North Carolina for your donations to help us keep the lights on and grow the channel. I'm waiting to report on Dante Moore's. Let me know if you know that Dante Moore. Oh my goodness. We've got breaking news. Breaking news. Woo! A lot of people got this wrong. Bruce Feldman, Oregon, quarterback, Dante Moore, announces that he is returning to the Ducks for next season and not entering the 2026 NFL Draft. Big win for Dan Lanning. Wow. And I've been hearing people report, and I don't, or give speculation on it, and I don't blame them, but a lot of people are saying, Dante Moore, of course he's going to go to the NFL Draft. He'd be the number 2 guy picked overall. There's no reason for him to go back to Oregon. What happened? Dante Moore is going back to Oregon. He's probably going to make more money at Oregon. This college football thing is all screwed up, by the way. I love that these players are getting paid, but they're not as valuable as NFL players. Whew. Boy, this college sport is screwed up. Dante Moore is going back to Oregon. Dylan Raiola is going to be the backup for a year and then be the starter the year after. I don't know, man. Crazy. But Dante Moore, congratulations to the Oregon Ducks. You've got a quarterback, of course, that can lead you to the national championship next year. Unbelievable. Yes, Oregon is going to be something next year. Wow. Wow. All right, guys, I want to thank you all for joining us here at Peek Around the Corner. This was Cheeseburger Nightmare, January 14th. I appreciate Christopher Hooter's phone call. I appreciate all the comments in the comment section. below the video. This was kind of a disturbing live show because I had to eat a cheeseburger. It could not have been all that joyful for you. Well, maybe it was joyful for some of you to watch me, but it was terrible for me. And again, if I make another incorrect report, we may have to revisit what type of punishment I take, especially if I live through the day and I live through the night. I want to thank you all for joining us. Keep your head on a swivel. Buckle up. Brace for impact. We still got Thursday and Friday of this week going over the weekend, and we're going to be doing a watch party. National Championship game, Miami versus Indiana. I cannot wait. Until next time, from all of us at PATC, to all of you, please y'all take great care of each other. And as always, God, my Mireya, Golden Gophers.